I've spent $39,874 worth of Frost Stars in Whiteout Survival in 173 days. And today, we're going to get it over the 40,000 mark, because even though I'm trying to experiment with this new budget, I'm still learning, what it is to be on a budget. And I think I have an event here that I really can't bypass. I am going to try to keep careful notes going forward so I can really see what the value is in comparison to some of the higher value things. But I think the thing I'm going to take a look at tonight is this Charm Master Pack, because when I did the math on it, as far as I can tell, because of these random chief material chests, it's kind of worth a gamble on. You don't know that by and large, you're going to get the 2 or the 4, but, there is a chance that you do substantially better, and you get 10 of these per $5. So between that and the charm designs themselves, I actually think this is probably a really good value, but I can't really substantiate that yet because I haven't seen the Artisan's Trove for this generation yet. I have to see if it's got 30 or 48 in it. I can't tell because I'd have to go back to maybe one of my old videos, but we just recently did FC5 as well. So that may actually reset as well. So I think this is going to be a really good value, and I'm going to buy it out tonight. I know that's not what people on a budget do, but I'm still learning and I'm still documenting. And what I'm trying to do is, I don't know if you want to call it min-max in this situation, but I'm trying to bypass the stuff that isn't great value and make sure I don't miss the stuff that does have really good value. And at least that's my dipping my toe into the budget path. So that's my game plan tonight. So let's take a look at some things first before we get into the spending. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the state. We got 2 things we're spending on tonight. So first things first is this custom armament chest. This is something that normally you'd want to spend. I think you'd want to spend at least up to the $20 mark on it. It gets hard to be a whale on a budget, but there are events that give better value than this, even better value than this, but you don't know when they're coming around. They don't come that regularly. So it's one thing I know that I can do is I can buy this up to, I got a couple days on this, but, I'm going to buy this at least up to the $20 mark for the Lucky Hero Gear chests. And that's basically $35 worth of spend. I could probably justify going more, but I'm going to wait a day on that and see what else we have coming up. We got 2 days on it, so I'm going to wait on this and just buy it up to the $20 mark for now. I feel like I should probably always buy this out, but it's going to blow my budget out the water. And I know there are other, events that have much better value. This is actually a standard value though. This is a good value. It's not the best value, but it is a good value. So I don't feel bad about that at all. Custom pet chest, we got more days on this, so I'm just going to leave that where it is for now as well. The Charm Craftsman value pack, just to tell you, I've already kind of talked about this one, but I bought it up to just a $10 mark just to get a little bit of something. But, doing the math on this one, I don't think it's one of the better values in the game. So probably I should have even skipped it. I'm not sure I should have even bought anything from it. The daily deals is still a great value. And I know I was talking to some folks about this. Yeah, I got lucky on it. Great. I was talking to some folks about this. I think in later generations, you get even more items from it. So if that's the case, then this will get even better in value. But the speeds here in the mystery badges, I don't know. I still think it's worth it, at least in my gen and what I'm dealing with right now. And all the weekly cards except for the speed ups, I see what you mean now. I started doing some math on this using one of the spreadsheets that tries to estimate valuation. The one that's the most questionable is the speed up weekly card, but we need speed ups for all different types of things, including experts. So I don't feel bad about buying that one at all. But we already got it, so we don't need to worry about that right now. We look in the deals section. There's nothing new here. We do have Mia coming, so I do need to be prepared to spend on Mia, Mia's Fortune Hut. So we'll just grab these claims for now. And yeah, that's all we got to do in the deal section. And if we look at Snowbusters quickly, you just see, what I got going on here. I'm already at Area 24, and, I'm about, I don't know, probably halfway there. Let's see. I think I'm halfway there. So I do see what some of you mean. I probably could just get to Area 23 with maybe not spending anything on the Snowbuster Warrior pack, or maybe just spending up to $5, maybe $10. I could probably get away with that. And in addition to these ones right here, these rewards right here, I probably could just, if my goal is just to get to 23, which is my goal right now, then I probably didn't need to spend that much on Snowbusters. So that's what I'm going to keep that in mind for next time. And then we have this Charm Master Pack that I was just talking about. Now, I'm going to buy this out. I'm going to buy this out tonight. There's two things I'm going to do that's going to be expensive tonight. One is this, and the other is the Hero Gear Mastery Pack. And the reason I'm doing the Hero Gear Mastery Pack is because if we take a look at events, I was kind of planning for this looking ahead, and we have an opportunity to use Essence Stones in Alliance Showdown today. So we can use Essence Stones here, and we have an opportunity to do that for Officer Project here. So Officer Project has the Essence Stones as well. So I'll kind of double dip. I'll get my basic rewards. I'm not going to try to like press it really, but it is a way to use some Essence Stones, you know, outside of the normal events without worrying about SVS too much, because I'm going to be replacing what I used. There is something else I'm going to talk about here though. I think I was talking to some folks in the game, and I do think maybe I'll start working on a second March, and I don't mean like pressing it hard, but I mean, you know, at least doing some mastery on them to use the Essence Stones. I think I am getting to the point in the game where, you know, I'm accumulating Essence Stones at a pretty good clip anyways. So, you know, because I'm blocked on other things, I'm blocked on Mythic gear often or other things, you know, I can start working on a second set of gear that doesn't actually need the Mythic. You know, if I just get this to level 20, then I can start pushing some of these other items, and I'll have a second March that is like useful for Foundry and stuff like that. Not to mention some of the problems I've been having in Labyrinth, but without pressing it like crazy, right? It's going to be like an opportunistic thing I do on the side. You know, that's the way I'm kind of looking at that. So I don't know if I might be able to do that tonight after doing the Hero Gear Mastery Pack, because I kind of used all of my components. So I need to get one of them up to 20 again, but let's take a look at that tonight as well. So that's the two things I'm going to be doing, that's spending some money. Unfortunately, that puts me way over the top for this week. But if you consider, if we treat this Charm Master Pack as a special event, then it's going to be taking money away from my special event pool, basically. So I'll be overdrawn on my special event pool. But again, this is like the first month I'm trying to budget at all. So let's give me a little grace here, and as I adjust to this new schedule and this new budget. I'm going to spend on the things that I think are high value. Then I'm going to reconcile at the end of this 28 days, this month in the game. And then I'm going to see, all right, what should I have done better? And then I'll try to improve over time that way. So that's kind of, so I'm probably going to be way over what my intended budget is. I'd really like to be around $2,800 a month, I think, but I'm probably going to be over that this month. And then I'll just look at, you know, everything I've documented and then make some adjustments from there. I think that's the way I'm going to play this. So first things first is let's take care of this Charm Master Pack. Oh, let's see. I think is it going down in value? It is. Is it? Wait a minute. Yeah, I think it's going down in value. No, that's all right. Did it go down in value? I don't know. I'll have to look at that on the replay. But I'm buying it out anyways. All right. And I'm not going to use this. I'll talk about what's going on in the state as well. But let's take a look at how much I got for that. I mean, aside from what I got from the items themselves, that's 370 of these Chief Charm material chests. And I think this is what puts this over the top for value, because each one of those, you get a shot. You get a kind of a roll of the dice of getting, you know, a really insane value on the charm designs. So essentially, let's do a little math here. If I say 370 times, and if we look at the most likely thing, I'm going to only base this on the charm designs. That's what I care about the most. And if we get the X2 down here, which is the most common case. So if we get times 2, I'd end up with 740, but let's divide that in 2, because you don't know if you're going to get the charm guides or the charm design. So basically it's 370. So if I get anything more than 370 charm designs, I think I've won here. Let's see what the math turns out to be, though. It could be that I get more charm guides than charm designs, but you know, it's all good charm materials for charms, but let's see what happens here. All right, that's substantially more than 370. So I did really good on this, right? That's actually really, now, so this is what to me makes this a really good value pack, is that randomness there, that if you do decent on the RNG, you're gonna do all right. Okay, so now let's take a look at the, and I'm not going to use it. I'm going to explain. I'm going to do some account discussions tonight too about what's going on with power in the state, but let me get there next. So now let's take a look at the what essence stones I want to use here. Now I do want to do, so even though I said I am going to start working on an alternate set here, tonight I really want to trigger the Hero Gear Mastery Pack, and that means I need to, you know, do the, I'm going to have to use some mythic and gear. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to use some mythic gear, and I'm going to have to use a bunch of essence stones. I want to give it at least, I need to use at least 100. And the question is, you know, what am I going to do? I mean, we can do this kind of evenly. I don't know. You know, right now, I think the better use of this for me is probably in the, you know, the marksman. And so I'm going to go with this one here, the goggles, because that is the next thing I'm going to push anyways. But getting this to level 15 will certainly help. And I'll just quick select 5 of those. Forge that up. Get my basic rewards. Get that to level 15, which is always a good thing. As we saw how that worked in my SVS prep, you know, having Geronimo's, and there we go. And there's the Hero Gear Mastery. And then I'm going to buy this. And the Hero Gear Mastery gives me, you know, basically all the essence stones I used and then some, plus some lucky Hero Gear chests. There we go. Now that's not exactly budget spending tonight, but like I said, I'm trying to document things and see how things go. So those are the 2 big things I want to do tonight. Let's check the backpack, and can I get lucky on this tonight? Nope, no luck on that one tonight. And now let's get these VIP in the tank, and let's see. I'll do 100, do 114 at a time. One, two mythic. All right. I'll take it. 2 out of 114. And 1. All right. Maybe the other one I got was a pity reward, so you never know. But I'll take it. This is all right. And now I'm in a position where if I do want to start fiddling around, like let's take you know, this for example. I've already got some of his primary gear. And I can start working on like an alternate marksman and lancer here. See, I've already got these going a little bit. So if I wanted to like take this one and bring it up, I got to get it to 20 first. So if I bring this up to 20, like this, and then I can master forge this up as well. And it doesn't cost me any mythic gear at these lower levels. So this is the idea, is I can slowly kind of bring them up for points during basic events. And I think maybe that's not a bad idea. And maybe I'll leave that 20 there as kind of my rolling 20 if I need to, you know, use them to play this trick essentially. You know, I can do the same here, but I'd have to, you know, again, I'd have to get 20. So I can play around with that. So that's the idea, is you can start using some essence stones for basic rewards and stuff that way. So that's another thing I was going to do. Now let's take a look at power, and let's talk about this state, because I know a lot of you keep asking me about stuff like this. So I'm showing this because you asked me, and I'm trying to explain my strategy to you, especially when we get into the whale spending territory. So as you can see, you know, Hunty is building his lead on me, but I don't know how things are going to go. I don't know how much he is going to be spending daily. That's up to Hunty. Then that's not my game. It's his game, right? So I'm not worrying about that. We have a good relationship in the state now. I think things are going good. If he ends up being the bigger whale and he's the one who is the primary whale for Castle, that's fine. As long as I have a place on the team, I'm happy, right? And as long as I can help my team. But, you know, the thing that I think he's doing right now is he is kind of using outside of SVS, building power outside of SVS, but then he also contributes during SVS. So I tend to put up a lot more points during SVS so far, and he's kind of building slowly and steady. That's his game, right? That's what he wants to do, and that's fine. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, my exploration stage is still, you know, pretty good, and my total hero. But this is like, again, as he starts doing some stuff, he's going to be blocked on mithril and other things just like I am at some point. But, you know, as he starts doing other stuff, he'll start catching up there. Oops, I dismissed it. He'll start catching up here, and that's fine. That's, you know, I'm not, and look, there's the hero, the Geronimo hero gear is almost, you know, he's almost caught up there now. And I looked earlier today, and this was like almost not even close. So, you know, obviously he's doing some essence stones today as well. But like I said, this is fine. Pet power, like I think he was down to 11 million just the other day. Now he's up to 12, right? So I'm like sitting on my pet power until I get the next pet. And then we get, of course, you guys already know that the expert power is already driven up, and the labyrinth, he'll probably be catching up to me on this quite efficiently as well, because I don't know, it depends on how much he spends on. But the reason I'm talking through this is, and I'm comparing it to hunting, because some of you are asking me like, oh, well, like how you're not going to be the biggest whale in the state if you don't continue to spend like crazy. Yeah, that's true. That's the way this game works. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to have my budget, and he's going to have his budget. And if his budget exceeds my budget, then over time, he's going to have more power than I do. That's just the way the game works. I need to focus, and I appreciate a lot of the comments that some of you gave me, both in the game and in the comments on YouTube, saying like, hey, just enjoy the game, focus, because we don't want you burning out. Like they're saying, like, we've seen people burn out as soon as you can't be the biggest whale, or as soon as you lose an SVS. Well, we've lost an SVS before, and I'm still here. I've lost a foundry by forgetting about the castle. I'm sorry, about forgetting to hold center, and I'm still here. Now I don't have the highest power in the state, and I'm still here. So I'm trying to have a good attitude about this, and I'm stick around because I do enjoy the game. And now my focus and my content is going to be more about understanding the efficiency, because that's how I started things. That's how I started things on this channel, actually. Like, I wanted to see how much power per dollar I can get over time. And now my strategy and my budget has changed, but my intent hasn't. So I'm going to start studying more and more. I'll show you some of these spreadsheets that I'm using once I get familiar with them. There's a guy called, let's see, what's his name? Texel or something like that, who's working on, understanding the value. Let's see, yeah, Torxim, Torxim, on Discord, who's created these spreadsheets that is trying to understand the relative value calculation across all the different types of packs. I'm using that. Yeah, you can probably find this spreadsheet as well if you go looking for what I just told you. This is, but his stuff is all based on a T12 state. So I'm trying to adapt it to the FC. I'm trying to understand his spreadsheet and adapt it to my state, which is FC5 right now. So, and that will help me really understand what the value of the items are, and combine that with my budget. Really, I'm kind of come back around to really understanding, so that I can give advice both for myself and to you about what are the actual, most efficient things to be spending on, what's worth, waiting on, and what's worth buying. And whether you do that or not is up to you, but I'm going to be trying to understand it. So let's see. That's kind of a whirlwind tour of the state. There's another thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to bother with, I'm not going to bother with doing Labyrinth on camera again, because it's really not much different. I'll play around with the ratios a little bit and see what I can do, but I'm not pushing charms. So this is the other thing I was talking about. I'm going to try to subscribe as much as I can, other than doing a little bit of things like you just saw, so that I can get basic rewards like this. So now I got my basic rewards for Alliance Showdown, and put some points on the table. I got my basic, points for my basic rewards for Officer Project, and I put some points on the table. I'm not trying to push rank here, right? So this, oh wow, I didn't realize. So clearly, Hunty is pushing rank, or push. So that's quite a bit. So what he must have done a lot with charms and essence stones, I would imagine, and mithril maybe. So he must have done hero gear and chief charms. Which is evident in the fact that his lab scores went up. But yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't care about this too much. Like, what am I going to do that for? Here's the rewards: island components and some speed ups. Like, why am I going to blow SVS? Even if I'm spending more, why am I going to blow it here? I'm going to wait for SVS and get the points for SVS to try to help the state that way. And that means that my power is going to suffer a little bit in the meantime. That's fine. That's just going to be what it is. I'll spend like I want to do the upgrade, and then I'll save the upgrade for the actual SVS event. That's what I'm doing there. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, though, is this very thing, is that, like, how are things going in the state? So let me just kind of center over here. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was able to pull in third place in Arena last season, so last week, and that felt good to kind of snipe it in just the last minute. But here's the deal. Here's what happened. Like, if I'm going to give you an update on the politics of the state right now. This last SVS was critical for us as a team, as a statewide team. Like I feel like we turned a corner where some of the petty bickering between alliances went away. We played very well as a team when it came to the actual SVS event. We started that SVS, we were on voice chat, we were talking about our strategies. Hunty and I were on the same team because we thought we were going to have to need that to counter their power, but it turned out that he and I were both powerful enough to unseat Castle, no matter who was in there. So then we split up because we saw them running counter rallies. This was all happening in real time, and we were like adjusting our strategy in real time. And we did have some experienced players on the voice chat as well who were giving us some advice, but we did this in real time and we succeeded. And just that amount of collaboration and cooperation together, I think that kind of is helping to bond us, as a state. Like there's multiple people. There were probably like maybe 20, 25 people on that voice chat minimum. And we all were working together, right? We're watching what's going on in turrets, watching what's going on with the other, what's going on with the other alliances. Some people were just watching like when somebody was rallying, because you can't see it if you're not the one holding castle, but you can see when a rally is called. You can see everyone going into their city. So we were just all working together. And when we were done, we all felt accomplished, not just in the win. And this is the thing that was exciting to me. We felt happy that we all worked together. Maybe not everyone felt like that. Maybe some people just liked winning state versus state. I feel the biggest win, and the thing that was really gave me the most joy and excitement, the thing that I was vibrating for days just in joy, is that we finally are working together. Like we had the top 3-4 alliances, we were actually all working together for a common goal. And that made me more happy than winning a state versus state. We could have lost state versus state and had that level of cooperation, and I still would have felt the same way, because I was just happy that we were all working together towards a common goal. I'm also happy that Hunty's taking some of the pressure off me, right? Like he's pushing power and spending money in the game, and now I don't have to be the only person who I feel like it's all on my shoulders. He and I together can work together, and whatever we need to do, either be on the same alliance for SVS or on a different alliance, depending on what strategy we need for any particular situation. And we've got a good run at doing well for state versus state if everyone plays well together. So that's where things are for the state. That's kind of my little spiel on what's going on as far as state politics and what's going on in the game. I'll continue to give you updates on the budget stuff. Before we're done, let's take a look at VIP, but I'm not going to do anything with it yet because I need to kind of get my bank up. My bank of VIP points is pathetic right now, and I need to get that back up again before I do anything. But this is what my puzzle pieces are looking like. I'm 47% of the way there, and I'm probably, if I wanted to push it, I could probably get 2 more pieces tonight, maybe. And then I'd be more like 48, 49% of the way there. I'm going to be 50% of the way there soon. It just depends on the level of spending. I'm going to wait until this refreshes to get the custom mythic hero gear, though, because I think that's kind of a great value there. And I can get more charm components here, but I really think the best value here for me to spend on these, what do you call these? The prestige badges, is mainly this mythic gear, because that's really what I'm blocked on more than anything. And to get a free one of them from this shop, I think is the great play for me. There's one more thing I want to cover. If you want to help me out, there's a simple way you can do it. As you can see bouncing above my head here, the official shop is running a 5% top off promotion right now. I don't know how long that's going to last, but you get an extra 5% on your purchase of Frost Stars using the official shop. If you use the link that's in my video description, then that gives me credit for the sale, and I get some Frost Stars as well. I can't tell you how much I'm going to get. It's not that much, but and when I finally get it, I can't tell you what it is. Some people have been asking about that. I wish I can call out and thank people individually. All I can tell you is if you use it, thank you very much. It's a new program, so maybe in the future we will be given more insight and information about who's using it and that type of thing. But in the meantime, if you want to help me out, that's one way you can do it. If you're going to buy, the way I tell people is, you're going to buy Frost Stars anyways, use my link, because then it helps me out. It doesn't cost you anything. It gives me some Frost Stars as well. The other way you can help is super simple. All you got to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications. That way, whenever I post anything, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, I'll see you later.